Hello and welcome back to Excelsior Academy. So today we are going to do the last part of IIT JAM 2019 Biotechnology solving with detailed explanation. So I hope you have gone through other five lectures of this. If not, please go through that so that at least by the end of this lecture, you at least are thorough with the one paper from IIT JAM 2019. Soon there will be the other year paper will be solved as the days will go, and I'm trying to finish the syllabus also before your exam comes. So let's do the last topic. So your 51st question is a schematic representation of RFLP, that is restriction fragment length polymorphism analysis of a sample population is shown below. So the number of people exhibiting a given pattern is indicated above the lanes. So here these are the number of peoples. Okay, now this is the length of the DNA, that is your RFLP. Different fragment lengths are given over here. Now what is the question they're asking? Calculate the frequency of 6.5 kb allele correct to 2 decimal places. Now this is very simple if you know something about Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Okay, so that says that p square plus 2pq plus q square is equal to 1, or p plus q is equal to 1, right? Now where p and q are the frequency of the allele, dominant and recessive allele. So if we say that p is your dominant allele and q is your recessive allele, then the total frequency is going to be 1 in a population. Now using the same formula, let us say that p is equal to 6.5 kb, or this can be written as 6.5 divided by 1000. So that's what you're going to get over here. So then you will get around 0.65. Okay. Now how we are getting 0.65? So it is given that it is 6.5 allele, right? So it can be written as 6.5 into 1000. Sorry, into 100 divided by 1000. Since it is kilo, so we will be dividing by 100, 1000 and then 100 in order to get the frequency. Okay, so we are getting 0.65. Now when p is equal to 0.65, using this formula p plus q equals to 1, we know that then q is equal to 1 minus p, that is 1 minus 0.65, which is going to give you 0.35. Okay, now we have p is equal to 0.65 and q is equal to 0.35. Correct. Now next what you're going to do, so let's check that the values of this. So if you do p square plus q square 2pq, you are going to get 1. Okay. Now, so when you calculate all these values, you're going to get 1. Now by adding all these values, totally you should get 1. If you're not getting 1, then something is wrong with it. Now the question is calculate the frequency of 6.5 kb allele. Now frequency of this is going to be p square. So what is p square then? 0.65 ka whole square, which is going to be 0.4225. So since they have asked correct 2 decimals, so the answer is 0.42. So this is the frequency of 6.5 kilobase per allele. Okay. So let's move on to the next question. Guys, if something is not clear, please comment me, or you can ask me in the Telegram also by the name Excelsior Academy. So moving on to the next question. So find the value of integral of running from 0 to pi by 2 x sin x dx is dash. So now how we are going to solve this thing? So for first this, we know that integration of sin x is equal to minus cos x, right? And we also know that differentiation of x raised to n by dx is nx n minus 1. Now integration of cos x dx is sin x. Now keeping all these things in mind, now what you have to do is x 0 to pi by 2 sin x dx is equal to, it is going to give you, then you have to write, right? So then Okay, so now this will be split now using the formula of integration of x, y, dx. So what we get is x of 0 pi by 2 sine x dx minus of this 0 pi by 2 dx by dx, that is differentiation of this, then integration of sine x dx dx, which is equal to minus x cos x, the value from 0 to pi by 2, plus 1. This will become 1, right? This portion will become 1. Then this is going to give you cos x dx. Then next, once you put the value of pi by 2, what you get is 0 dot cos value 0 plus sine x value from 0 to pi by 2. Now we know that the pi by 2, cos pi by 2 is 0 and cos 0 is 1. Sorry, yeah. So then what is, sorry, the 0 only, because here 0 it is getting multiplied, right? So 0 plus 0 plus sine pi by 2 minus sine 0. Now this is 0, 0, sine pi by 2 value is 1. That is your sine 90. Pi by 2 is nothing but 90, then minus 0. Okay. So totally what we get is answer is 1. So guys, write down in your book carefully and then only you proceed with the solving. Now next question is, so phosphoglucoisomerase catalyzes the following reaction: glucose 6-phosphate to fructose 6-phosphate. This is a reversible reaction. Now, if 0.05% of the original concentration of glucose 6-phosphate remains at equilibrium, then the equilibrium constant of this reaction is dash. So this is something we need to calculate. So how we are going to calculate now? Now let us say that we have got around 100 moles is there. Okay, so let us say that there are 100 molecules. So according to this, what is happening is at equilibrium, among these 100 molecules, 99.95 molecules will reach and are formed, and 0.05% of, the 0.05 will remain, right? So they are remaining according to this. If we consider 0.05%, so it means from 100, 99.95 molecules are made and these are remaining. Okay, so now what is happening? So K constant, that is the equilibrium constant, will be given as concentration of your fructose 6-phosphate divided by concentration of your glucose 6-phosphate. So how much you are getting then? Simple. So then Kc is equal to your 99.95 divided by your 0.05. So which is 199. So this is what you are going to get, right? Now, so I hope this is clear. If not, you can take any other number values also. Since it is given over here that original concentration is 0.05%. So let us say that this can be also written as like this. So we have assumed that 100 molecules are there and accordingly we have calculated. So even if you take the other values, then calculate the 0.05% of that original population and then you can calculate. Again and again, you're going to get the same value only. Okay, so moving on to the next question. In a bacterium, a mutation resulted in an increase of substrate-specific constant for ammonium from 50 micromolar to 5,000 micromolar without affecting its mu max. The specific growth rate of the mutant growing on 0.5 millimolar ammonium in the medium decreases by a factor of dash. Now, so how we are going to do this thing? The specific growth rate formula is given as mu is equal to mu max by Ks minus S. Okay. So here your mu is the specific growth rate in time. Mu max is the maximum specific growth rate. S is the concentration of substrate in solution and K is the half velocity constant K, right? Now, according to this question, mu max is remaining unaffected. So we can put the value of mu max as 1. So we can put this value as 1. And initial substrate concentration is given as 50 micromolar, and Ks increases up to 5000 micromolar. It is given. Now to calculate the mu of the mutant at 0.5 millimolar, that is this question, 0.5 millimolar ammonium concentration, we need to convert 50 micromolar and 5000 micromolar into millimolar. Okay, so since this is given in millimolar, or you can convert this millimolar into micromolar. So your 50 micromolar is nothing but your 0.05 millimolar, and 5000 micromolar is your 5 millimolar. Okay. Now, according to the formula, so when you put these values, what you're going to get is mu is equal to 1 into 0.05 divided by 5 minus 0.05. So what you get is 0.05 divided by 4.95. This is nothing but equal to 0.01 millimolar. Now this can be also written as in micromolar. So what you get? So 0.01 millimolar is nothing but your 10 micromolar. Okay. So what is the answer? So by a factor of 10 micromolar, it is actually getting a decrease. So now moving on to the next question. The total number of DNA molecules present after 5 cycles of PCR, starting with 3 molecules of template DNA, is dash. So this is very simple actually, and it is interesting also. The similar questions we have done in the case of microbial growth kinetics also. So it is given that formula to calculate the number of the DNA molecule is A into 2 raised to n over here. Okay. So when n is the number of the cycles, it is A into. So A is the initial concentration. So here it is given that 3 molecules are initially it is present. So 3 into 2 raised to 5, the number of values, right? So what you are getting, how much you are getting then? Number of cycles is given. So 3 into 32. So total you are getting 96. So 96 molecules of DNA are present in the solution. So this was very simple actually. Going on to the next question. So the next question is, the two identical infinite conducting plates are kept parallel to each other and are separated by a distance g. The uniform charge densities on the plates are plus sigma and minus. So this can be shown like this. Okay. So since it is positive, let us say, so here the energy is going to be away from the plates. Okay. Here E is equal to 0. Similarly, if we have got the another one where it is minus, then the plates, then that for the negative charge, the electric field is towards the charge. Okay. Now the distance between them given as d as mentioned in the question. So the electric field at a point between the two plates is n sigma by epsilon 0, where n is, so here we need to calculate the value of n. So we know that E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon 0 for one sheet. Now for two conducting sheets, it is going to be E is equal to epsilon by E0. Now how we are going to do this thing? We are going to solve. So it is given that E sigma plus and E sigma minus is there. Okay, so both we are going to add these two. Now, so when electric field of two conducting plates is added, so what we get is E is equal to sigma by epsilon 0 plus sigma by epsilon 0. That's nothing but 2 sigma by epsilon 0. Now we also know that according to the formula, E is equal to N to 2 sigma it is by epsilon 0. Now from here you can say that the value of n is equal to 2. Okay, so here the value of n is equal to 2. So this is actually very basic. The thing is that we have forgotten our 11th and 12th the basics physics and chemistry. So if you remember, just go through the basics. Only the formula is also enough in order to crack the IIT JAM. So you don't have to, solve high level or G level questions. For us, for IIT JAM preparation, basic formula, if you study, basic theorems, if you study, it's more than enough. So let's move on to the next question. The concentration of NaCl in millimolar formed at stoichiometric equivalence point when 10 ml of 0.1 molar HCl solution is titrated with 0.2 molar NaO solution is dash. Okay. So here it is given that, one second. Okay. So here it is given that the reaction is NaOH plus HCl is going to give you NaCl plus water, right? So the concentration of HCl is given as 0.1 molar. Concentration of NaOH is given as 0.2 molar. Okay, now this, let us say this is your M1, this is your M2, and the volume of HCl is also given as 10 ml. So 10 ml is also given, V1 is also given. Now to find the volume of NaOH equivalent at that point, so we can use a formula M1 V1 equals to M2 V2. So using this formula, V2 is equal to your 0.1 M into 0.01 divided by 0.2. Okay, so volume of NaOH used is going to be 0.005 liter. Now we need to find the concentration of NaCl. So total volume is going to be becoming now 0.005 ml. One second, let me clear. So now 0.005 liter we got, right? So now total volume of the solution is 0.005 plus, from the previous we know it is 0.01, that is this one. So total it becomes 0.015 liter. Okay. Now using the formula M1 V1 plus M2 V2 is equal to M3 V3. Okay. So now they're asking the concentration of NaCl. So that what we are going to get is as M3 is equal to this divided by V3. Correct? So if you solve, let me write it for you. So M3 is equal to M1 V1 plus M2 V2 by V3. What is V3? On addition of this and that, we got 1.05 liter, right? So now we are going to put that value over here. So we get as 0.1 into 0.01 plus 0.2 into 0.005 divided by 0.015. Now when you solve all this thing, what you get is 0.001 plus 0.0001 divided by 0.015, that is 0.133. Okay, so now we know that it is this. Now in molarity. Okay, now you need to convert that into millimolar. So 0.133 molar is nothing but 133 millimolar. Now we have this thing, right? So we got now all these. Now we have got two products. So here we have got the NaCl also. Now for NaCl, we are going to get half the value of this. So that's why 133 millimolar by 2, you are going to get as 66.5 millimolar. Okay, so that's how you're going to solve it. And yes, it's very simple. Now why two products? Because NaCl is there. So two equivalents are there. So that's why you need to make it half in order to get the 1. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, so the standard EMF of a cell in voltage involving the reaction, this is at 298 Kelvin is dash. So we need to calculate that. So how do we do this thing? So we have got the formula over here. So E cell of E positive E cell is given as E of red cathode minus E of red anode. Okay. So using this equation, which is given as 2Ag plus, given as Ag plus Ag 2 plus X. Okay. So for here, we can also write as Ag2 plus E minus, what we get is Ag plus. So here E is equal to 0.62 volt, right? Then Ag2 plus electron will give you Ag plus, that is aqueous. Here E is equal to 0.12 volt. Now put these values of 1 and 2 equation. So from first equation, this is the second equation. Now put these values. So what you get is E cell is equal to 0.62 minus 0.12. What you get is 0.50 volt. Hence that's your answer. right? So it's very simple. As I mentioned before also, this is nothing like hi-fi, the basics of physics, chemistry and maths. If you know, you can actually get high rank in IIT JAM. Okay. So yes, so moving on to the next question. Let A is equal to 4i minus 2j plus 6k, B is a 7i, j minus 12k. So if A cross B is alpha I plus beta j plus gamma k, then the value of alpha beta plus gamma equals to what? So for this, you need to solve it. Okay. 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 So for this, it is given that, no need to write it again. So it is given that A is this and B is this. So for this, A cross B is equal to I, J and K. So if you guys don't know, please go through this. It's very simple. There's nothing hard in this question. Okay. So when you solve it, I minus 1, 2, 3. So that is, if you're going to hide this and this, so minus 2 into minus 12, then minus 6 you get over here. Okay, minus 2 and minus 12. Okay, minus it is. Then minus j. Hide this portion. Now what you're going to get? 4 into minus 12 you're going to get. Okay. So 4 into 12 minus 6 into 7 similarly. And then for k, it is your 4 into 1. Right? So minus minus becomes plus. So 2 into 7. So on solving this, what you get is I plus of 18. This is 18. Then J 90. Then K 18. Okay. So it means what? Your alpha is over here 18. Beta is your, beta is 90 and gamma is your 18. So now they're asking what is alpha, beta and gamma. So when you add up all these things, you get 126. Okay. So that's your answer. So last question, and I really would like to say thanks to everyone who actually inspired me to do this thing. And I'm not sure how efficiently and how long I can do all this thing, but I just promise that as soon as possible, I'll try my level best to complete the other year question paper also. Along with the IIT JAM, I'll try to finish GATB question paper also, so that if you're not writing this year, at least by the next year, by 2022, you guys are ready and thorough. Okay, so the last question is, infinitely long solenoid of radius r and number of turns per unit length and carries a steady current of I. The ratio of magnetic fields at a point on the axis of the solenoid to a point r by 2 from the axis is dash, they're saying. So what is solenoid? Okay, so what is solenoid over here? 1 second. Okay, what happened? Okay, last question. Yes. Sorry for that disturbance. Yes. So what is solenoid? So if you remember, this is your structure of solenoid and have, zigzag like this, something like this. So that is solenoid. So if the distance over here is r, right? So we are going to get as r by 2 they are asking. So length of the solenoid, let us say L, number of turns, let us say N, then N is equal to N by I, where N is the number of turns per unit length. Now this is also given as the, it is also given that of limit tending to 0, B is equal to mu 0 L is equal to BL 0 Ni. Okay, so here this becomes B is equal to mu 0 Ni by L. Then again this becomes B equals to mu 0 NL. Now magnetic field inside the solenoid is constant, hence the ratio is going to be 1. Okay. Yeah, so the answer over here is 1. So what was the question? The ratio of the magnetic field at a point on the axis on solving. So what we get is the ratio is going to be 1. So here answer is 1. So thank you people. I hope you like it, and if any doubts are there, please you can comment. if any concept is not clear, first of all, try to go and get the basics correct from your 11th and 12th standard of physics, chemistry, and math. If still it is not clear, you can just pin to me and ask me in the comment box, or you can also message me in the Telegram channel by the name of Excelsior Academy. Thank you.